CVC PR, CVC with personal rewards, is always a big deal to me. It always has been. I've enjoyed it very, very much. I'm very competitive. I enjoy going in and smashing it out of the park most of the time. This time it's very, very different. This time we have a fusion that just started yesterday, and we've got to figure out a good way to strategize how we can amplify not only our CVC results and get as many points as possible so that we can rake up the rewards and also steal all of the great stuffs from the bad guys. Bad guys being the other team. Sorry if you're on the other team, my bad. But also so that we can get all of these great personal rewards after the fact, especially because if we're able to get through and win this CVC PR, these energies and all of these extra resources that you can get from the personal rewards can help in the fusion moving forward. I don't know if you're going for this next fusion or not, but I have decided that I will be, not only on my main account, but also for my free-to-play account. Now, this is a little bit more scary going in with the free-to-play account, especially with how old she is. She's just little. We're a little over a month and a half in-ish, and I've heard a lot of people say that it might be difficult. We'll talk about all that here in just a moment, but first and foremost, I just wanted to say hi. My name is Fail. I'm so appreciative of you watching this video today. I'm a big fan of CVC, so I knew that I needed to get on here and not only talk about the CVC PR, but also how I will be strategically intertwining them with fusions. And it's not just your typical, oh, you need to do this event because it's currently going on right now during the CVC. There's a few other little strategies that I'm going to be mixing in that I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to utilize both the CVC and the fusion events for my accounts, both free to play as well as a main account that I've had for years. If you are just getting started with a free to play account or you're thinking about starting over, I've got you. Hold up, now it's time to click my link in the description below so that you can get yourself a free Karato as well as 3 other insane epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Play and Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato right after signing up, as well as Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Alright, so while this dragon is running and finishing up in the background, I want to talk about my main account. So in the main account, last time during a CVC PR event, I had a goal to go for 1 million points. Now this would have been the very first time I would ever get 1 million points. It ended up towards the end, we were already super winning. I would have had to stay up very, very late and waste a bunch of resources that we really didn't need because we were winning anyway. So I did decide to kind of cut it a little bit short. We got 700 and something thousand points towards the end during the CVC. So I didn't quite hit my 1 million goal, even though I really wanted to. I had this thought of maybe I should go into this next CVC and just try again. We'll just keep trying until we can hit that 1 million goal. I actually thought, okay, great, now I know what worked, what didn't, and we can really tackle it this time and jump all in and do great for this next CVC. However, I did decide that because of the fusion going on, it just does not make sense to throw tons and tons of resources into the CVC, especially when a lot of those resources that would be used during the CVC to get to that 1 million point goal are going to be needed for the upcoming fusion events. So that being said, I just wanted to point out we're not having a specific point goal for this CVC, at least not for my main account. What we're doing here is we're just going for win. We're going to try to win, which right off the bat, we're very evenly matched. That said, we're only like 2 hours in. The CVC just started about 2 hours ago. We will be paying attention to any of the 2x point system that's going on with CVC. Like for instance, we've got Forge. Definitely going to be draining our Forge, both free to play account and the main account. I might run up Shogun, but this one's a very, very big might, simply because we want to be able to put our energy and, if so, gems into the specific dragon event that's going on right now. Alright, so you may or may not already know this, but when there's a fusion going on and a CVC, you abso-freaking-lutely want to align the different tournaments with CVC points. So right now we've got a dragon tournament going on, a dungeon divers, as well as a champion training event, but tomorrow there's a gear enhancement event. I love pouring silver into CVCs because I've realized that they can actually gain you quite a bit of points. Now you realize I only have 16 million silver. That said, once we drain our forge, we'll definitely rack up quite a bit more points, so I'm not too worried. Today I'll go through, do some forge items. Tomorrow when the gear enhancement event starts, I will be putting in some silver into that, and I've actually have some specific champions I will be building during the gear enhancement event too. That's another strategy that I kind of winked at earlier, is that we're not just aligning events for the fusion for the CVC, we're also aligning account growth during the CVC and during these events. So like for instance, I have my Lord Fabian, I need to build him out I've already got all of his masters done. Don't come at me. He's fine. He's doing okay. But I would like to build him out, especially for arena. I worked with one of my clan members who, by the way, thank you so much. Huge shout out. But they kind of helped me build a very annoying, I think is going to be annoying team, if I can build them right. A very freaking annoying team. And it involves, of course, Mr. Fabian, because he does have some annoying tendencies with some of his kit. Another key item that I want to be building out for champions is I want to be focusing in on Hydra teams and also slightly arena. So those are my goals for the gear enhancement event. I'm going to be building those out. We recently were able to get a clan boss team to 1 key Ultimate Nightmare, which is a huge freaking win for this account because it's taken too long. It needed to happen. Plus, we got a lot of great resources from it. I'm going to do a whole video on that, the team setup, how I did it, what resources you can gain from being able to 1 key Ultimate Nightmare, especially over the days and days that come afterwards. So we're going to be building out specific champions during the gear enhancement event. That's tomorrow. Today, we are going to be going in on the Dungeon Divers and Dragon. So I'm putting the champion training event kind of on the back burner, and I'm really focusing in on Dragon. You can see I've already kind of started it yesterday, but these were just from my dailies and my advanced quests, you know, the energy refills that you got. So needless to say, we're probably going to be able to get through this today just fine. The reason why I'm putting the champion training event on the back burner versus the dragon tournament is because on the main account, I have quite a few resources that I can play with in the tavern. I'm not too worried about champion training events on this account because of the resources that we have saved up. It makes it a whole lot easier to kind of drain and go right on through them. And we could probably even try to go for maybe a book or 2 in the process as well. But we don't want to spend too many resources, of course, because we want to be ready for all the other upcoming events during the fusion. So all of that is to say, those are going to be the focuses for the main account and where we're going to be putting our resources. We're going to be using up the Forge to save up money and silver for tomorrow's gear enhancement event that's going to start. We're going to be running up Dragon as much as possible. Goal is keep an eye on where we're at against the opponents. We're very neck and neck right now, even though it's the very beginning, but we want to try and get a win. We definitely want to be able to get all of these, especially because on this account, we're actually tier 6 for personal rewards, which means we get some pretty juicy things, right? All of these different shards, the books. I'm especially excited for all the energy because then we can just turn around and put that into the fusion, and it's just going to make the fusion all that much more easy. It's going to make it easier. All right, we're switching over to the free-to-play account. Again, this is a newer account, and we've already heard from quite a few people that they feel like the fusion is actually going to be quite difficult, or at least let's put it this way, have quite a few more challenges per se for free-to-play account players, especially if you are newer. And the reason why is because you don't have as many resources saved up. For example, and this is going to be really scary to share, I only have 2 sacred shards. Now, when it comes to a summon rush event, which will be coming up later on during the fusion, generally you want to have at least like 5 or 6. And if you don't have 5 or 6, then at least you want to have a bunch of these other ones, right? So that you can kind of compensate for it. So that one is a little bit scary. I'm going to explain how I'm worried about it. Of course, I'm going to strategize about it, but how I'm going to try to offset that a little bit. Here's my strategy for this CVC event for the free-to-play account. I do not think we're going to, I mean, again, very early, we don't know, but the fact that my clan jumped off this early and the others jumped off that early, I'm not so sure we're going to have as much of a chance to win, which really is a downer because the free-to-play account obviously could have definitely use these personal rewards a whole lot more than my main account does, and my main account seems to have slightly better odds of being able to achieve them. So we're just gonna have to see how this goes, but it would be fantastic if we could win the CVC and be able to take these personal rewards as well as the clan rewards and just put them right back into the fusion, especially for this free-to-play account when it's already going to be a challenge. All right, let's talk briefly about the current events that are going on, what I will be doing for them on the free-to-play account, and then I'll go into a little bit more strategy of how I think we might be able to pull off this fusion for the free-to-play account. And it's a major thing. There's definitely going to be challenges, and it's not going to be a for sure thing, but I wanted to do it as a little bit of a challenge just to show that if you're strategic, then there's a possibility of free-to-play players and newer players being able to do fusions as well, even though they're a little bit tougher. And if we can't, then we can learn from them and or just realize that our account was not ready for a fusion. Okay, first and foremost is the dragon tournament. All right, so here's one of the goals that we're going to do for the dragon event, because obviously we want to try to push to stage 20. We are limited on what champions we have because she's a new account. She doesn't have as much as some of the other guys, okay? But I think that we might have some potential to be able to get to stage 20 with the current champions that we have. It is going to be hard and we're going to have to be strategic and smart about it, but I think we might be able to reach that point. I was able to get a 4th 6-star champion here over the weekend during the last champion trading event, or right before the weekend. And so I think that not only will this champion could potentially help with clan boss, which is why I'm building her out number 1, but she also sometimes could do pretty okay with Dragon's Lair. I do need to build her better though. So tomorrow during the gear enhancement event, I will be building out teams for both the clan boss on this account as well as Dragon and any other teams that I think could potentially be helpful during the fusion events that are coming up. We need to try to get as far as possible as we can with what we have, right? But especially for dragons right now during the CVC, I'm pushing to try to get to stage 20. Otherwise, we're probably going to be spending up a lot more energy for the tournaments if we're not able to get to the later stages, or at least as late as we can, right? Getting as far along as we can, getting the better artifacts gives you more points during the tournaments, so we definitely want to try to get as far as we can with that. With the champion training events, now we've got the dragon, hopefully will be sorted and I'll be able to get to stage 20 and get through the dragon tournament as easily as possible. And then of course the dungeon divers, this one's going to be a little bit tricky too, and it might take quite a bit of energy. We may have to go through and convert our gems to energy quite a bit here. We do have a little over 1300, which is not a great safety net. Let's call it as it is. It's not the best safety net. I still have to unlock my freaking gem mine, and I was thinking about doing it during the CVC, but now I'm considering saving it so that we have as much of a cushion as possible to work through during all the fusion events, since we're going to try to go for it. It's going to be really hard. I don't know if we're going to do it, but we're going to try. Okay, next is the tavern for the champion training event. I do not have a lot of brews like my main account. I do not have a lot, almost at all, any chickens. We will be getting quite a few more resources during the CVC as we continue to progress and get all these different milestones for our clan rewards. If we're able to get our personal rewards as well, there's tons of chickens in there too, and I believe the champion training event should be going on. Yeah, it'll continue on past the CVC. So if we can get as many rewards as possible from the CVC, both from clan rewards and personal rewards, oh, it would be a huge freaking blessing. So we've talked about Dragon Tournament, a little bit about the Dungeon Divers, and the Champion Training. We want to try to make this as easy as possible when it comes to getting through these fusions, because they're not easy right now. They're definitely going to be difficult, so we have to try to figure out how we can work through that. I also want to note with the gear enhancement event, we will be able to kind of go through, we don't have as many forge items, forge materials as our main account. Again, I think this is great to kind of see a comparison of, with my main account, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll just do this and this event will be easy. We'll do this and this event will be easy. We already have this, so this event will be easy. The free-to-play account, I have to really be strategic. I have to be more careful. I don't have as many materials in our forge, so therefore we're not going to get as much silver so that we can pour it into the gear enhancement events and get as many points as we need in order to get the fragments. Okay, so there's that. Next, I want to talk about, this isn't going to be during the CVC, but it is important to think about now, because if I'm going to be putting all these resources into these fusion events, I want to be thinking about the next ones that are coming up. Now, we did talk a little bit about Summon Rush event. This is going to be difficult. Having only 2 sacreds is really, really scary, not to mention all of the ancients that we're going to need for the champion chase. Let me break this down on how I think we might be able to do it. Now, again, please take this all with a grain of salt. We don't know for sure, but we're taking it as a challenge. We're going to test it. We're going to see if we can. Why not with a free-to-play account? We're all about testing. Okay, number 1. We do have our Artor. Now, I am torn for the free-to-play account. I've saved these to pull during the CVCs. I could save this for the Champion Chase tournament, which I might just do. Next, I also plan on building out some fusions for the Champion Training event. For example, we've got Relic Keeper. I've got him pretty much done. We just need to ascend all of these guys. We could probably work on our Razin a little bit, depending on what champions we pull during the Summon Rush that's coming up. And we can also work towards a Broadma, but of course we're limited for getting these 2 either pulled or grabbing them from the bazaar, which we're not even close to doing. We've mainly been focusing on this guy, though now I wish I had kind of focused in on getting those. Speaking of, we also have some energy here too that I saved for the CVC/Starter Fusion. Here's some ideas that I have to make this happen. Number 1, I have not finished going through and 3-starring all of my Brutal stages. When you 3-star all of your Brutal stages, you get a Sacred Shard. Number 2, I have not done the same for my Nightmare, and I do think we may be able to go through and do Nightmare. There's going to be a couple of stages that might be a little bit difficult, but if we can go through and finish this up, there's another Sacred Shard right there. Now, I did think about going into Faction Wars and maybe 3-starring here to get these rewards. However, a lot of the upcoming rewards that we have are voids. Void shards we're not going to crap on. We're happy with getting void shards, but really we want to try to find as many sacreds as possible, especially for that summon rush. So we've got those 2 that we can get from the campaign. We've got another one that we can gain once we get to level 60. The thing is, I don't know that we can get to level 60 by the time we have a summon rush, but I'm just noting where all of the sacred shards are, where I can see a bunch of them, so that we can take note of what we can work on and how we can potentially get those. Another area where we can potentially get some sacred shards is clan boss. However, with clan boss, as I mentioned to you, we're still kind of working on building out our team a little bit better, and because we can't get further along to, like, say Nightmare, we're less likely to be able to get through and get some sacred shards, so this one's a little bit more iffy. However, we're going to be working on our CB team anyway during that gear enhancement event and champion training event, so it's potentially maybe we can at least get to brutal and be able to do brutal more securely, and maybe even move on to Nightmare. So there's another area we might be able to get some sacred shards. Now let's talk about another potential place that I'm really thinking about going more for. So Arbiter missions. I messed up. I messed up, and so I did get my 4 rank 6 champions, did that like I told you the last champion training event. We already have this guy done. Void Keep. I messed up. So the Void Keep was open on Sunday, and I remember for like a bunch of last week I knew this was coming up, this specific Arbiter mission, and I remember thinking I need to make sure on Sunday I go in and I do the Void Keep. And I remembered 5 minutes after it closed. I kid you not. It was like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes right after it closed. I was like, crap, the Void Keep. And I went and checked, and it was closed. So I feel dumb. So here's something that we could maybe potentially do. We could open it. However, it will cost 300 gems to open it for 24 hours, which normally to me is just not worth it, period. Not worth it at all. I don't want to be spending gems on that, especially if we're going to be needing them for energy to be able to do all the rest of the fusions. But here's the thing. If we can knock this out, let's say we open the Void, we knock this out, we gain 150 energy. Some of these other missions are already done. The next one we have to do is upgrade 2 affinity bonuses to level 4, which is in the Great Hall. We could do that. We could get a couple of affinity bonuses to level 4. We have enough for it too. I've been making sure I save them, and we want to spend them during the CVC anyway, because we'll get points for the CVC. The next one we need to worry about is Fire Knight. We can already do stage 10, I believe, so we just really need to run it up. It's not ideal right now since there's not a Fire Knights event going on right now, but CVC is going on, so we can get the points for it, and along the way get all of these rewards as well. Next is to upgrade 4 champions to level 60. There is a champion training event going on right now. We could easily do that. We just need to top off our Venom Mage and our Frozen Banshee. Next is Spider's Den. Great points for CVC. Again, doesn't have an event going on for the fusion, but it's good points for the CVC. And then because of that, we'll be able to get more energy after we ascend a level 6-star champion. Again, Ascension is a great thing to do during CVC for CVC points. Demon Lord, we can easily do 7,500 damage to a normal difficulty Demon Lord. We've already proven we can do that. And then, of course, this last one in this 3rd section of the Arbiter missions is to fuse Relic Keeper, which I did already show you we can do. I literally just need to ascend them, which I believe I double checked yesterday. We should have all of the potions that are needed for that. So if we do decide to open up the Void potions, we literally open ourselves up to finish all the way through and start working on that 4th section for Arbiter missions. While doing that, we will gain all of these extra resources and be able to go through, and it'll make it a little bit easier to go and use up that energy and use up any gems to get through some of these additional events that are going on. This does add in a little bit of it's a gamble effect, right? Because none of these events that are currently going on offer any sacred shards. Often they don't. So we've found a couple of different ways that we can get sacred shards. However, I don't know that it's enough for a summon rush, especially given how few shards we have for, Primal Void and Ancient. So this is an iffy thing. This is a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I do think that we have some potential to do it. It's going to be hard, not 100% impossible, and there might be a couple of comments that'll say, yeah, this is impossible, you shouldn't have even tried. But I think that it's relatable. That's why I've decided to take on this challenge, is that there's quite a few free-to-play players, especially if you're newer, where going through and wanting to do the fusions but not knowing if you're able to do it, it's kind of a downer, right? When you're not able to participate in the fusions, a guaranteed champion, and let's be honest, these champions that they're providing for us during these fusions, while they're guaranteed champions that you can receive for a free-to-play account, those are way more valuable than it would be for a mid to late game to end game players. So not only, yes, it's harder, but it's more valuable. So the risk is a little bit more worth the reward, I suppose you could say, for a free to play account trying to go in on that. All right, we talked a little bit quickly. We talked quickly during this, so I apologize. I just felt like there was so much to cover and I wanted to make sure I crammed it all in, but hopefully this was very straightforward. I hope that you are having a great start to your CVC, at least better than mine. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear in the comments if you've decided you're going for the fusion or not, number one, but also I would love it if you're willing to kind of describe where your account is at. Are you a free to play early game player, a mid game player, late game, end game? I would love to know so that maybe others can read up and go, okay, this person is going for it and they're around the same area in the game that I am. Have an amazing freaking day. Keep killing it, and I'll see ya.